gentlemen, welcome to the Comic Conspiracy episode 599. 599. You know what's coming for episode 600, Brock Sager?
And Brock Sager.
Absolutely nothing.
Absolutely nothing. Another episode.
I don't know, maybe I'm lying. Maybe 600 will be a massive star-studded event. Odds are it won't be.
I wouldn't put money behind it.
That's okay. Hi, I'm Ryan Higgins. This is the Comic Conspiracy episode for the week of Monday, November 6th, 2023. And it's me and Brock.
Yep.
Two-man pod.
Yep. Happy belated Guy Fawkes Day to those that celebrate.
Oh, yeah. I don't think we sold any copies of V for Vendetta yesterday. Gonna start putting those out. On display on the 4th in celebration.
Say Guy Fawkes.
Eve. Well, we got some stuff to talk about here. So
we always have stuff to talk about.
Comic news from this past week. Yep. We had Paulo Rivera in the store for kind of last minute signing on Sunday over the weekend. So that was really cool.
And we also had Timmy.
Yeah. We talked about Timmy.
We didn't really talk. We announced that we were having him, but we didn't talk about it because
we didn't talk about that too much. But yeah, we had a couple of signings as part of our in kind of our 30th year celebration here for Comics Conspiracy. That's good to have some signings at the store from time to time. But it's been a while since we had anyone in. Paulo Rivera, amazing artist, super nice guy too. His dad Joe does a lot of his inking on his covers too. So it's pretty good turnout. Decent amount of people showed up for that, so that was cool. Like I said, it was a little last minute, but we had a decent amount of people show up, so that was cool. Really great artist.
It was nice to just sit with somebody and talk, and they were able to talk to fans and stuff, and it didn't feel overwhelming.
Yeah, it's hard to do that at conventions. Sometimes it's kind of quiet, but you can get some cons that are like just packed with people. It's like you're just kind of shuffling through as fast as you can. So yeah, there's a little bit more mellow when you're at a shop. So So I don't know, nothing else planned, but you never know. Like I said, this stuff comes up from time to time, so we'll let people know when we're doing stuff at the store. We got some. I'm always interested in the kind of more corporate end of comic news. I don't know, it's not as sexy as some of the other stuff, but I always find it interesting.
We do real news here.
Real, quote unquote, real. This is something, that we would have covered last week, but we had a skip week. So Pam Lifford, who was the head of Warner Brothers Discovery's consumer products, which is for some reason the department at DC Comics got dumped under. So if you're wondering why I'm talking about this, she was president of Warner Brothers Global Brands and Experiences. Sure, why not?
Is she the one that I blame for not having a Joelle Jones statue at my comic book store?
Well, you can blame COVID for that.
No, I blame Discovery purchase.
Did DC, was she?
That's what, I think it was part of that whole thing where they did, stopped everything toy-wise.
Well, I'm trying to remember when DC Direct was folded in with Warner. What was it? So, before the McFarlane deal came up, because right now Todd McFarlane has the DC Direct license.
Yeah.
But there was that batch of stuff that DC Direct, the toy line for DC Comics, got shoved in with just Warner Brothers, whatever toys, whatever the department is for licensed products. And it was not part of DC. It was not part of the little DC grouping anymore. So you can blame COVID for that. You can blame COVID for that. That's because a bunch of shit ended up in warehouses, and I think Big Bad Toy Store and Sideshow got them all.
Yes, well, because I know the Catwoman statue, the wedding dress statue, went to Sideshow, but then Sideshow didn't really advertise it as much, and then they all just went away.
Yeah, I don't know what to do.
And I was like,
there's a bunch of weird DC products that got just kind of evaporated. I don't know. Maybe they just pulped them or destroyed them. I don't know what the deal is, or they're just sitting in some warehouse somewhere. I have no clue. You may remember Pam Lifford from becoming. I don't remember the exact date. I don't remember how much previous how much earlier it was, but she did become basically the head of DC Comics, right? I mean, she was the head of the department that DC was under. Right when Batman Damned came out, that was one of her first days on the job.
Oh, that's right.
The reveal of Little Batman. So flashing back, if you can remember, all the way back to 2018.
Bruce's real dick. I mean,
yeah. Not great.
Those articles were hilarious.
It's still very funny to me. I'm a child, I admit it. It's still very, very funny. It makes me laugh. So that was one of our very first days on the job. Was dealing with the internet's reaction to Batman Damned #1. No, what's funny is when as I'm reading stuff off Comics Beat here, but for Pam Lifford, when they said she's stepping down for family reasons to help family members' healthcare needs. This is what Warner Brothers said, and I was like, isn't that what they said when Diane Nelson stepped down when she took over for the? It's like yeah, it's the exact same thing. It's like, oh, I'm stepping down for my family. It's like, okay.
Was that the same one they gave for Dan Didio?
Diane Nelson.
Well, no,
she was there with Dan Didio, yeah.
It seems like women get the family thing, but did Dan Didio get the family thing?
Oh no, he just got fired. He just got straight fired. No. Right. She didn't. She wasn't fired. She quit. Right. Let's yeah. Right. I'm sure she was asked to please go spend time with her family and no longer work at Warner Brothers Discovery anymore. So, I don't know. I met Diane Nelson a couple times. I met her twice. I met her at 2 of the DC events. She was there when they announced New 52, and then she was there at one of the other retailer meetings. I always said say anything to her, and I was like, "Hello," But I don't talk to her. But it was. But I don't think Pam Lifford, I don't think she had any interest in DC Comics, right? In the comic department. So I don't know what global brands and experiences. I mean, that's so broad. That's just dealing with Warner Brother properties and what the hell is brands and experiences? Theme parks? I don't even know.
It's stuff that I can't afford to do. I mean,
global too, international. I have no idea.
I can't do whatever. Like globally.
I said, for me, all I care about is DC Comics, and so she was the head boss there. So, but she's gone. They're going to be moving some people around again, bunch of corporate stuff, and probably meaningless at the end of the day. Who knows what's going on? But it is interesting when these things change up. So, but if the first day on the job is having to deal with Batman Damned #1, that's a legacy.
So. Here, this is what you're gonna do with back dick.
And there was a significant amount of laugh and change under her. Again, how much comes from her and how much comes from even above. I mean, you got to make cuts. Editorial is completely decimated. There was a note here from Comics Beat that was also under a regime that they got rid of the DC Comics booth at Comic-Con, and I don't know if you get that back once it's gone. I think it's just part of Warner Brothers booth now, so that's a big it's not great. So pulling DC Comics away from being its own thing and just this is what we're seeing with Marvel, right? Marvel Comics is feels just like an arm of Marvel Studios now. You want DC Comics as a company to be to do what it does best, to be its own thing, right? And so it seems like not Probably not the best person for the job. So hopefully, whoever steps up cares more about DC Comics being DC Comics. And James Gunn, obviously, James Gunn and Peter Safran should have might have a decent say about the future of the comics department. I mean, they're running DC Studios, but who knows? Maybe there's a chance DC Comics gets put with them. Similar way Marvel Comics and Marvel Studios have a lot of overlap now. So I don't know. Who knows? We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I'm just going back and actually I found an article about from 2018 about
Batman Damned.
The Beat, where she was greatly displeased with the appearance of Bat Junk and told as much to DC publishers Jim Lee and Dan Didio.
Yeah. But just under certain lights, you could see it.
What's funny is in this, they did an interview with ICV2, and they talked about apparently Pam Lifford kind of had the same career track Diane Nelson had, where they both came out of consumer products.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's pretty typical, all right? I mean, you get a lot of people moving around at the same corporate levels at different positions. So
now,
I think she was at Disney prior. I'm pretty sure Pam Lifford was at Disney.
I will say
prior
this,
to that. So
the last line of Jim Lee's response to a question, about the situation, interactions with her and stuff, he says she's looking at it from a very global, holistic point of view, and understanding that the experience is crucial to growing our fan base and growing the business. And I'm like, this is nice use of words there. Tell you something was growing then.
Yeah.
All right, what do we got next?
Moving on, we're gonna stick with DC for another story here. I thought this. I saw all sorts of reactions to this, mostly positive, but I've got some questions here. So let's me and you can discuss this a little bit. And
okay,
yeah, this is one of those things I really got to see to believe, but we'll see next year. DC Comics also announced last week that they are going to launch a new line of graphic novels, just reprints of existing content. However, they're going to be a little bit of a different format. It is called DC Compact Comics. Watchmen, Batman, Hush, Brian Azzarello, Liber Mayo, Joker. Let's see. I think I had a full list here. Yeah. Court of Owls, Far Sector. Yeah. So a bunch of books like that. However, they are going to be in traditional trade paperback book size. So not graphic novel paperback size. So this is going to be 5.5 inches by 8.5 inches. So
it's like the YA digest size.
A little bit smaller than that. Those are usually 6x9. Marvel's single issue comics are like 6.65 by 10.3. If my memory serves correctly.
Roughly. Yeah, because I was moving the boards today, so I think those were the measurements. Yeah, so just under the board size.
So the traditional kind of kids YA book, or those Marvel graphic novels, the ones where they have kind of like the kids aimed collections of Miles Morales and Miss Marvel, and
they're a little bit. They're not as small as digest, like Archie size.
Yeah, those are all 6x9. Which is, so that's about 10% smaller than a traditional graphic novel. Just, this is about 20% smaller.
This one says the sizing is comparable to the 5.5, 8.5 sizing, which is the close to US manga.
So
which is
Tokyo Pop in Viz is 5x7. If memory serves
it says
correct.
5 by 7.5 in the article.
Okay, so that's 5
the
by
US
7.5. Right. So this is bigger than manga, smaller than the other books. So bunch of points on this. Sure, whatever. Reprinting graphic novels, great. Okay, cool. That size though, that's pretty small.
Yeah,
That's, there are some books where I think it might work okay, but a text-heavy page of Watchmen,
yeah,
that's going to be a tough read. The art on some of these, Jim Lee's Hush, right? Lee Bermejo's Joker, that size down is going to get dark.
Well, even that
and muddy.
Was it Gillian March, Harley Quinn, and the Gotham City Sirens by Paul Dini? Like, some of those pages are very flowing and grandiose, but taking it down a notch, I don't know.
Yeah, so my concern here is just presentation. Manga is done. The collected versions, the tankobon size, that's generally accepted as like the permanent format, right? Especially now in Japan, it's so much of it's right on the phone, and then the physical print size, and they're small, right? And that is, they have them in the magazines, but the actual like accepted ongoing permanent format is a small format, so they're drawn with that in mind, right?
Yeah, because don't they normally max out at 6 panels?
Oh, they could be whatever. It doesn't matter. They could be 2 panels or 1 or 7.
Yeah,
or
but
20.
like normally
if they 20, but they're smaller. They're
smaller. Yeah,
tend to have fewer panels. I would think. I don't know. It's not like a hard rule, but I feel like a lot of manga ends up being like 4 panel per page. It is smaller. It is smaller than your average American comic significantly, right? It's like that's like 30% smaller or something like that. So having the artwork done in a more it's not, I want to say less detailed, because there's plenty of very detailed manga, but it knows that that's going to be the final format of it. So the art's done that way. American comics have always been done. The format is comics, right? Comic size.
Yeah.
Shrinking it down that much, man. I got to see this. We were talking about this the other day at the shop, right? I think something like, at airports.
Yeah, airports, travel things where it's like, that was the first, you asked me this, you said, hey, did you hear about this news? And I'm like, really? But that would only apply to, like, I said, like, airports or train, and you're like, that's my thought exactly.
Yeah, it was like the first thing I thought. Like, the print manga, I mean, it's a little bit different now, but a lot of this used to be, they're basically disposable, right? They were cheap. You buy them, you toss them, you get rid of them. It didn't really matter. You bought it for the train ride. So I'm like, I'm not against this at a base level. I think it's, again, yeah, sure, whatever. Put it in all the formats you can. I just think the reading experience is going to be very substandard. I think that's going to be hard to pull off. Now, you can, like they have the webtoon stuff, or have like the Batman or Batman. What the hell is that one?
There's like a Batman manga one that's just came out.
Well, those are done in Japan. Like, that's actual. I mean the Wayne Family Adventures, right? And at the Vixen.
There was the Zatanna one I read.
Zatanna one. Yeah, I mean, those are made for that format, right? I mean, they're webtoons, but they're they know that's the print size.
Oh no, I read the Zatanna and Constantine one. I can't remember what the name is. Hold on, let me turn. And of course, it's on the bottom of the stack where I can't see. Yeah, Zatanna and the Ripper. Like, I read it and everything fit okay in that kind of size, that 6x9 size, right?
Yeah, I just taking it down even smaller, and then having it be Watchmen or Hush. Like, man.
Well, even All-Star Superman, like quietly did some great double spreads in that.
Yeah, so I think with a book like All-Star, it might be okay, but I think you're going to lose a lot of that detail. You're going to lose a lot of Quietly's lines. So the Darwin Cook, Ed Brubaker, Catwoman arc is going to be as like it doesn't say volume 2, I mean, or the volume. They just say 1, right? They don't even say a volume number. So
no, this is like Catwoman Trial of the Catwoman by Darwin Cook and Ed Brubaker.
One book. Oh no, I guess American Vampire does say book 1. So maybe that'll have
sorry, and Earth 1, Grant Morrison. Oh no, but it doesn't even say volume 1.
Yeah, Wonder Woman Earth 1. Yeah, it just says Earth 1.
This is Earth, but that's
American Vampire
Earth 1.
Yeah, American Vampire does say book 1. So let's look at the Catwoman. Like, Darwin Cook style works. It's flat. It's clean. It's I don't want to say it's not detailed. He's incredibly detailed, but it's a different style. It's brighter. That might work better, but yeah, I really get to see these in person. I'm not, and they're $10, right? It's pretty cheap. Even Vismong is up to $11.99. I don't know if that price is going to stick. I feel like that's pretty cheap. Again, I'm not against it. I just, man, you know, someone grabbing Watchmen. Like, is this the experience you want them to give them for the first time? I don't know. We'll see. I'm curious. I really want to see these in person. I've got to see how this looks. I'm not against the size at all. I'm not against the manga size. I'm not against the 6x9s. Absolutely, when it's designed for it. This feels like a tough one.
And again, it's
small.
It's a very targeted market, right? Like, reading something that small on a plane, on a train, like in a condensed, environment, that's fine, right? Like, everyone goes to smaller screens, when they're traveling, they tend to, right? Like, it's easier to maintain less space. But when you go to like a bookstore or a comic book store and you want to read Hush, I'm not necessarily I'm not going to go to this one to hand to somebody. I'm going to hand them the regular Hush.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Trade paperback.
Well, right. Yeah.
Right?
I don't,
like,
I'm not gonna,
I'm not upselling a deluxe hardcover or an absolute edition. I'm giving them the trade paperback, which is as close to the single issue experience as possible. Right.
Yeah. And like I said, I don't mind the smaller format when it's the correct thing. But yeah, if it's not like a book, right, where you can make it a little bit longer. You could break up the page count. You can make text a little bit smaller. It's text, you don't need it big. It's that art, it's the paneling, right? Like, you can't make the text bigger to make up for the smaller size because it still has to fit in the word balloon. Like, it's not something where you can it's a mass market paperback and it's small. Oh, we got the hardcover novel, it's bigger. It doesn't work that way. So I have no idea. I've read some, stuff on Marvel Unlimited, and there's been times where, I'll do like the page view or I'll do like the panel view if I'm on my phone or something like that. And sometimes I'm like, man, this gets hard to read when it gets like really small.
Well, again, it goes back to those panels. Even reading regular trade size for Watchmen, those panels, there's a lot going on.
Yeah. And some of those, and there's a lot, it's all 9-panel grid and there's some big text pieces in there. Watchmen's really tricky. That's the one of all of them that I want to see. I think some of these may work okay. Far Sector,
some of them, like the text heavy stuff is the magazine, like the newspaper articles.
Oh, yeah, right, exactly.
Right?
Yeah,
you already have something that's condensed into like multiple columns, and then now you're going to shrink that down even more.
Yeah. So Far Sector, right? Jamal Campbell, artist on Far Sector. I really like they're doing the art on Superman right now, right, with Josh Williamson. But that art, Simon DeMeo, another artist. It's very computery, shiny. Lot of.
It's flashy.
It's and it's it can get really muddy. That's another thing that I think when that art gets small, it's not going to read right. I don't know. Okay, I will be very curious what these look like in person. I really want to see them.
If we can get a preview copy, physical preview copy of these,
we'll.
That's.
I
don't know, man. But like you said, the price point's good.
Oh yeah.
Depending on the paper quality and all of that stuff, right? Like, I can understand a little bit maybe reduced paper quality for like more of a newsprint thing. I get it.
I mean, you can't even do that because then it's gonna look really bad. It has to be like glossy. It has to be good because if you go, I don't even remember those Runaway books and Spider Woman or Spider Girl. They had these like 5x7 digest size from Marvel.
Yeah, they did the digest size for all the Runaway stuff that like just tanked.
Those were on that like. No, it's not newsprint. Yeah, but those were on that more like kind of pulpier paper, and it was like you could not read them. They were terrible. So it's got to be high gloss. It's got to be high quality paper. If you're gonna have any chance of seeing them at that level, because those colors, especially on the darker books, are just gonna melt into the page if it's crappy paper. And again, manga's black and white. You can get away with it, right? You can get away with a lot cheaper paper. Anyway, we're going to move on, and we're going to talk about what Marvel's new Ultimate books are going to be. And we did get a little bit more info here on one of them, but not. Again, I'm very confused by this whole new Ultimate line. We get info on Ultimate Spider-Man, and it is a adult married Peter Parker with kids. This is a Jonathan Hickman, Marco Cicchetto's Cicchetto. I think it's Cicchetto. I never know how to pronounce his name. I never say it.
Cicchetto.
Cicchetto.
I don't know. Cicchetto.
So clearly not Ultimate Spider-Man. Like this is its own thing, right? So like we were saying before in one of the previous episodes, this is kind of like all-star Marvel, right? Like we're gonna get some bigger-ish creators to do these kind of seemingly continuity-free books. I don't know how this connects to anything else. But this goes to the big conversation I've had for the last like 6 months about Spider-Man, right? It's like I'm not sure what they're doing. People hate Amazing Spider-Man, but it still sells very well. Marvel's like so against having Peter and Mary Jane married, and so they have this chode that she's with in the Spider-Man book, and everyone hates it. But this is kind of, I guess, what people say they want, quote unquote, is more grown-up adult Peter married, and now they have kids, but it's Ultimate, so it doesn't really count. It's not real, all right? It's not the real book. So
well, this seems to be the Peter Parker from the Secret Wars stuff, right?
No idea. We have again, unless something has happened in the last few days that I completely missed. There's no info on this, right? This is just Peter married with kids. He's an adult, and again, like the Ultimate X-Men thing, I can't imagine there's any connection between these books. It doesn't feel like it. It doesn't seem like it. So yeah, whatever this is, it's not Ultimate Spider-Man. I don't believe there's any relation to the original Ultimate run. This feels like something else completely, feels like something completely new. It's not a spinoff of Renew Your Vows. That was that's the thing you're talking about. And they had the kids, but
it's not even that. I'm reading this article. It's like the kids aren't even named yet. It's basically what if Peter got his powers when he was married to Mary Jane with kids.
Yeah, he's an adult when he becomes Spider-Man. As far as we understand.
Well, that's the article says that. Like
right. That's I mean, obviously the book's not out yet. They haven't. We don't have all the info, but yeah,
it's a what if story. They seem to use Ultimate because they're like Ultimate sells better than What If.
Maybe this is Marvel Earth 1, like those Earth 1 graphic novels.
I don't know.
Maybe that's kind of what they're kind of going for here. Yeah, it's weird. Like again, the problem with the Ultimate Universe, this is what I said last time. If it's better than the main books, just make it the main book.
Yeah.
If it's worse than the main book, what's the point? So I'm very confused with what Marvel's doing these days. I just don't get it. It's endless miniseries. It's like God, you watch South Park? Did you ever watch South Park?
I watched South Park. Yes.
Did you see
I don't think I watched more than 6 seasons.
Oh well, you have not seen anything modern or recent.
No.
Okay. So they did me and Leanne just watched one of the specials did the other day. It was called Enter the Panderverse. It was very, very funny episode. It's very funny. A lot of make fun of Disney and recent Disney movies. But there's a line through the whole thing. They're like, oh God, the multiverse is so annoying. It's just lazy. It's just a cheap way to continue the plot. Some of it's fine, but just we're so sick of this, right? I feel like that's how I am with Marvel Comics now. It's like, just make normal comics. Just make normal books. You don't need 12 flashback titles. You don't need 12 alternate realities. You don't need ultimates. You don't just make normal fucking comics. Yeah. Why is there like just like 20 flashback Marvel comics right now, like that are like, oh, it's a symbiote Spider-Man and like all the Hulk flashback books with Maestro and this just
isn't the Warlock book and Silver Surfer stuff
right?
Like flashbacky
yeah,
stuff?
They're doing like a new Marvel Secret Wars, and
they have that like X-Men 92 or 97.
Well, that's based on the cartoon at least, but they had like the Days of Future Past thing.
Yeah,
like,
the Days of Future Past. They have Magneto has his own book right now.
Just make a normal comic, guys. Like, what are you doing? And the Ultimate stuff feels like that too. Like, what is the point of this? Like, if it was called something else, I'd be like, yeah, cool, okay, this is like this alternate reality thing. All right, okay, it's going to be like this. Yeah, like you said, a what if, right?
Yeah.
This is an Ultimate though. Like that's already a thing. Ultimate Spider-Man's already a thing. This isn't.
That's the thing.
So what are you doing?
Because the thing is Marvel does that branding, right? Like, oh, people loved Immortal Hulk. Let's make Immortal Thor. It's like,
oh yeah.
It's like the adjective branding. So it's like having Ultimate Spider-Man or Ultimate whatever. Ultimate did well, so everyone's going to jump to Ultimate. And I'm like, you're literally just telling us a what if story.
Yeah. Like, and again, I like what if. I'm fine with that, but I don't need like multiples of these all at the same time. So.
No, and like, you know, they've come back to like they talked about like the 16 universe, right? The 1610 universe, the one that like Gaiman did the story that was really good, and then they tried to do it again, and it just tanked. 1602, yeah. But it's they call it the 1610 universe.
What?
I don't know.
Huh?
In the article, it quotes 1610 universe.
Oh, I don't know anything about
that. But like, you know, and then they had like the Apocalypse. They did that huge Apocalypse story, right? Age of Apocalypse with X-Men, and then they've tried to go back to that same universe again numerous times, and they just haven't hit with the same, you know, gusto. So I don't know. Tagging it as Ultimate is confusing because it's not an Ultimate book. And, you know, is that branding going to like taint Ultimate books going forward?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I don't know. Yep.
So you're saying amazing. So you're just going to sign everyone who's unhappy with. You're going to send a survey out to all of our Amazing Spider-Man subscribers and saying, "Are you unhappy with Amazing Spider-Man? Do you want Peter married? Then I'm going to switch you over to Ultimate Spider-Man."
No, even if they're not happy with it, they're still buying Amazing Spider-Man. That's the thing, right? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they're happy or not. Of course, they're going to buy Amazing Spider-Man.
They're caught in the web of Amazing.
They'll buy it. They'll always complain about it, but they'll keep buying it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Moving on.
Wait, no, I'm not done yet.
Oh, what's up?
I have one more comment.
Okay.
I know though, there's going to be a lot of blank pages. It's Jonathan Hickman. So.
Yeah, there's going to be 12 pages that are graphs and a bunch of blacked out, redacted dialogue and charts.
The white title page that spreads over two things.
Yeah,
right? Like,
lots of triangles and
and it's going to be a $6.99 price point.
Yep. There you go. Nailed it. Got it in one, Brock.
Hey, just trying, you know.
If you haven't read Variety Key, if you haven't read Variety, there's a really great article about Disney and the MCU that came out called "Crisis at Marvel." Jonathan Majors' backup plans, the Marvel's reshoots, reviving original Avengers, and more issues revealed. Obviously, look, right.
Yeah.
A lot of this we kind of already assumed or had been rumored, but there is. Variety does a good job of going through and kind of laying out a pretty good timeline and case for all the struggles Disney and the MCU is having right now. And yeah, it's pretty brutal. As we said, the Marvels is tracking for again a very good opening weekend for a normal movie, not for a movie where the previous one made $1 billion. And likely will. I don't know. Maybe the reviews will be good.
Oh shit! Idea. I might need to change my plans for Friday.
Real bad. The state of the CG and special effects teams and how they're doing everything in post, and they're filming shows and movies and have no idea what's going on. All the problems with Jonathan Majors, and the belief from Variety that they're just going to straight up bring back Robert Downey Jr. and all the original cast of the Avengers and just we'll try this again, because that's how comic books work, right? You bring back the dead people.
Oh shit!
What's up?
No!
What's up?
They're gonna do the old man Marvel MCU.
No!
Oh no!
I mean, we said this before. They're talking like, oh, these 2 Avengers movies, this big Kang. No.
They're getting older, so they're just gonna do the old man stuff.
Yeah, I don't know.
So it's gonna be old man Hawkeye, old man Logan.
Yeah,
that's how they did introduce the X-Men. They're old.
Who knows?
I know that's not the way it's going, but it's like,
I mean, yeah, I don't know. Look, you can just stop them for a while. You can just put them on. You can just release.
It's not necessarily that you need to stop them. It's
one movie
slow
a year and
fuck down.
Yeah.
Right. Like, again, we've talked about this. We don't need everything to be for us. Right. Like, again, we've talked Miss Marvel, the TV show. Didn't really care for it. Watched it with my daughter. It was a much better experience. We don't need everything to be for one group of people. Like, having stuff for multiple groups of people is perfectly fine. I don't need to go watch it. I can skip it. Okay, cool. It's not like it's the MCU has become a movie commitment. Right.
Oh yeah, of course.
It's this entertainment commitment that I need to go see, and I'm like, people just don't care anymore because the quality isn't there anymore.
Well, I don't want to reference the South Park episode too many times because
you can reference it. It's fine.
Well, the funny part, of the episode is that they're really slamming Disney and Kathleen Kennedy, and but also the acknowledgement of. Fans are fucking toxic as hell, and it doesn't matter.
Oh yeah,
right?
fans are fucking. I just finished watching Ahsoka.
Yeah,
really solid, done very well. I mean, it was predictable as all hell, but it wasn't. I wasn't like, this is horrible. But I'm sitting there watching it, going, I can see why their toxic fandom attacks this, because it's a lot of female lead characters.
Yeah.
Right, which I have no issues with.
Well, that's the thing they do with Kathleen Kennedy in the South Park episode. They're like, this is. I won't even get into the plot. It doesn't matter. But the whole thing is like, oh yeah, just put a gay check in it and make it lame, right? Just like that. That's just all she does. And again, that is not. Without the context of the episode, it sounds bad, but trust me, it's fine. But the one of the things they kind of say in there is, it's stuff could be for other people. Things, not everything has to be, for us. But then if you were trying to pander to everyone and make every Marvel movie for everyone, then it's kind of for nobody, right?
Oh yeah,
just make a good movie, and if it's for 18 to 35-year-old men, if it's for 40 to 60-year-old women, if it's for kids, like, it'll find its audience and other people will like it. But if you try to make these movies that are like, well, we have to appeal to everyone, you're not going to appeal to anyone. All right. Like, it feels forced.
That's the business model. It's, we have to get as much money from as many people as possible. And I'm like, you're better off getting as much money from the demographic that is targeted to than trying, like there's a point where you just have to realize your net can't be that big.
Yeah. Like I said, Captain Marvel cannot be like a $300 million movie.
No,
it's like $250 million in reshoots. Like, it just can't, right? Like, there's no way on earth this movie should cost this much. It looks like a TV show. Episodes of Loki shouldn't be $25 million an episode. Like, what the hell are you doing? What the fuck? Are you crazy? $25 million an episode? What are you filming? Like, you really in the Time Variance Authority? Like this is fake, right? Like, you burn the sets after every episode and you rebuild them? Like, what are you doing?
Maybe.
It's crazy. So, they got a... Yeah, interesting article. I think it's worth reading. So, in a similar manner, we got our first trailer for Echo.
I did not watch it. Did you?
It looks fine.
So you did watch it.
So I did. Yeah. So there's like three parts of this. So the trailer for Echo came out. It looks fine. It has nothing to do with superheroes, but it's completely set in the MCU.
Uh-huh.
Yet it's now under this new banner called Marvel Spotlight, which is disconnected from the MCU. So the trailer has Echo, obviously, right?
Yeah.
And she apparently does not have her powers. It's unrelated to Echo, the character from the comic. There was a quote, I don't have it in front of me, there was a quote from the director that Echo in the comics, her powers are lame, so they just made up all new stuff. So, and Marvel Spotlight is going to be, here's a quote, Marvel Spotlight gives us a platform to bring more grounded, character-driven stories to the screen, and in the case of Echo, focusing on street-level stakes over the larger MCU continuity. Our audience doesn't need to have seen other Marvel series to understand what's happening in Maya's story. Except, it is a sequel to the Hawkeye show, which was a spinoff from the Avengers movies, and it features the Kingpin, and apparently Daredevil. I don't know, he's not in the trailer, but people said Daredevil's in this. I have no idea. And the Kingpin, who was in Hawkeye, and the Netflix Daredevil, which is also unrelated to this. So you could say your audience doesn't have to have seen these to understand. But you do. Like, what are you even saying? It's a spinoff of the spinoff. It's Echo's a spinoff of Hawkeye, which is a spinoff of Avengers. Like, what are you even talking about? You don't have to see the others. It's all part of it.
Yeah.
I mean, like I don't know. Maybe the story just will not involve anything. And I mean, you can, right? I guess you can. I guess you can make it pretty self-contained, right? And re-explain the character from scratch and re-explain the Kingpin and his whole deal. But then is he not connect? Is just not the same character? Like, so it's kind of bizarre. And like, why is this what you do it with? Like, Echo's kind of a nothing thing in the comic anyway. And now this is not the comic version at all. So,
but it's the version that came out of all the other stuff.
But no, because I think she had the same powers in Hawkeye. She must have. I have no recollection of her having. I
just thought she was just like
she's like Taskmaster. She can see she's an Echo, right? She can mimic their movements and actions and stuff that. And I think that's what she did in Hawkeye. It's been a while since I've seen it, but I don't remember having any problem with her in it. Not really.
No, I didn't have a problem with her character in the show, but it's the same character out of that show. So how is it not?
Right. That's what I mean. Yeah. So it's, look, I love street level stuff. I love disconnected stuff, but this is not that. Like, Werewolf by Night was. That was.
Yeah.
I don't think they mentioned anything else. Did they? I don't recall.
I don't remember them talking about anything in Werewolf by Night.
Yeah, I don't recall like Doctor Strange or anything else coming up. I don't think. That was great. I liked Werewolf by Night quite a bit. So yeah, real weird. Real weird. What are you doing, Disney? And this is like TVMA. Like this is like, I mean, the trailer is like bloody, like violent as hell. I don't know. Maybe it'll be okay, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. More news that we already knew, but apparently now it's official. Superman and Lois will end at the end of season 4 at the CW, and the official 100% completion of the CW Arrowverse is now done. Even in this alternate reality, Superman and Lois, unrelated to the Superman and Lois that showed up in Supergirl in Crisis, apparently. Speaking of alternate realities, it's not the same.
Wait, they're different?
Yeah, Superman and Lois is not. It's they are not on the Arrowverse Earth or anything. It's different versions. They've always been different versions. They're the only Superman's the only hero on CW planet, or on the Superman and Lois planet. He's not related to.
It's like it's like Prime Earth. It's
whatever.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. I mean, the show's been great, but we're getting a lower budget 10 episode. The rumor was they're going back to Metropolis, and like half the cast isn't going to be in it. So I don't know. We'll see what happens when it actually comes out. So yeah, it'll be coming back for this 4th and final season, and then we are 100% done. I will probably never watch the CW again. So goodbye, CW.
Well, episodes will pop up on your Plex on this thing every so often.
Yeah, I mean, so Sci-Fi, right? Goodbye, Sci-Fi. I watched the last show I'll ever watch on Sci-Fi years ago. I can't imagine they'll ever show anything I want to watch again. And now CW. Goodbye, CW. I'll never tune back into your channel again.
So you're basically paying for those channels, and you don't need them.
CW, Smallville till Superman and Lois season 4. Whew, that's like 20 solid years of CW, man. That's good stuff. Long time.
Yeah, I stopped. I just couldn't anymore.
Superman and Lois is great.
I never even started it.
You should. It's good.
That requires effort.
Yeah, no, it's good, and they're short seasons. They're not like 22 episodes or anything.
No, like I'm
Superman and Lois will probably go down as the best of the Arrowverse shows. I think Black Lightning's pretty close.
Black Lightning I enjoyed. I think
all the rest just had such. Yeah, all the others just had such bad fall offs.
Well, Black Lightning I think just suffered from the show wanted to do stuff, but it felt like it was limited because of something outside of it.
It stuck to its own little corner of the universe. That's fine.
But it couldn't branch out too much because, when he did branch out, I was like, "It's cool. Black Lightning's in like Crisis. He's into the other things."
Yeah, but they don't bring that stuff back into his show, which is fine. I don't care. Yeah. But yeah, Superman and Lois should probably get on. This is probably my favorite. Final story before we get out of here.
It's not really a story.
What's that?
It's we knew this the whole time. You're talking about the other one.
Oh yeah, I just skipped a couple things. I don't have too much to say. I just like it when I see numbers go down.
When you see things that should not be where they are, get humbled.
Well, third quarter report for everyone's favorite toy company, Funko. Massive losses again. Down 14%, almost 14.5% from previous year. So, boy, the mighty have fallen. Every now and again, someone will order a Funko Pop, but like, I don't really see them the way I used to. No, I don't really see them in Targets anymore.
No, they're
maybe I'll see a couple like in a shelf, but I'm not seeing. Like, I don't know, what's Hot Topic look like. They still got a wall of them. I can't imagine. It's got to be way down, right?
I even think I think Elusive even has reduced the amount that they have to like one thing, not like multiple stands.
Yeah. Elusive, one of the local shop stores. They were huge to Funko for a long time. But yeah, I think even they had cut back. Well, I'm pretty sure last time they reported these big losses. I think I had a similar conversation. But a while back, Funko basically killed the direct sales to the smaller stores, which maybe in hindsight wasn't a great idea. Stores like us, we could. Not that I ever bought direct from Funko, but I couldn't if I wanted to. You've got to get through the distributor. It makes it. Yep.
So they lost. Second quarter was a $73 million loss, and then the end of the third quarter is.
The first two quarters this year they lost. We talked about these. They lost big bucks. They're down another 15 million, so down another 14%. So massive losses for Funko. Maybe they'll get a small bounce in Q4 for Christmas, but they're cheap stocking stuffers. So again, maybe that's going to be that might bump them up a tad. But
the amount of products that they just pump out, it's too much.
Isn't that just the statement for 2023? It's just too much.
Too much, yeah.
It's too much of everything. I've said that I can't. I've been saying this. It feels like for years now. Everyone just slow down. Less movies, less TV shows, less comics, less video games, less everything. Just less. It's easy to say make them better, make them good. I don't know. But you can't have quality when the quantity is that high. Just do less and make them better.
So I
put more effort into better products.
I watched something earlier, and it was variety can kill something so quickly if there's too much of it. Right.
Well,
if there's too much choice, if there's too much
let's stick this to comics right now, right? I mean, we have seen an absolute collapse in the variant cover market in the last couple months. Yeah. Not just at our store. I mean, so variant covers have always been very kind of hit or miss at stores. Some do really well, some don't. We've always done very well with them. Our pre-orders have plummeted for variant covers to a staggering amount because they've just burnt everyone out. Select high quality variant covers do well. Yep. The four bullshit random variants on every Marvel book that are just the most generic, thrown together nothing covers.
75% don't even have to do with the goddamn book.
No. Look, I love Superman and Flash and Green Lantern and Hawkgirl. I love all these characters, but most of these books from Marvel are from DC. The variant cover is just nobody cares. Just, you can get some themed covers. You can get a certain artist. Yeah. Certain characters look, Harley and Poison Ivy and Power Girl.
Catwoman and Power Girl.
And Catwoman. Yeah. There's reasons those variant covers sell okay because they know the market for that.
I am the market for that. I admit it.
But see, that's fine because there is a market for that, right? There's just not a market for 4 variant covers on Action Comics. There just isn't. No one loves Flash and Green Lantern more than me. I don't buy the variant covers. I am that market, and I don't buy them. Yeah. Right? It's I don't need. There's too many. It's too many. Right? Most of the independent companies, the variant cover was make it. This is the thing, right? This is what just made companies work. We get so few orders for variant covers for independent stuff. So few. And when it's
the 30 some or 40 some odd Dynamite covers for each thing.
No, Dynamite's. They've cut
down. Right.
Way down.
Yeah. But it used to be you're clicking through 30 or 40 and maybe getting 2.
They are down to on their so the Disney ones still have a way higher ratio of variant covers, but they're kind of their Red Sonjas, their
Vampirella,
those. Okay, look. When I say 10 covers, it sounds ridiculous. That is a so few covers compared to what they used to do.
Yep.
They would have 30 plus covers on some of these books. So they are down.
Well, we talked about this. I went and said for a 10-issue series, there's 150 variant, like 150 books.
Yeah.
Because of all the variants.
At least. So they are down 50, 60% with the amount of variant covers they're producing.
Well, and also, at least with DC and Marvel, the cost of those variant covers tend to be, definitely for DC, higher.
The DC one, they're really the only company, except for the foils from Marvel. The foil covers are the only ones that anyone ever charges for. DC is the only company that does there's a couple indie companies that do like $10 variants and blah, blah, blah. But that they're different. For many of the major companies, Dark Horse, Marvel, IDW, Boom, Image, none of their variant covers are more expensive. DC does because they have the cardstock covers. Maybe Boom does the Something is Killing the Children. They do the
they do those I know what you're talking about. Those
what are they called?
I don't remember, but I know what you're talking about.
They have those like shiny covers, whatever.
Yeah,
it's
like the lenticular.
It's like
the
UV spot covers.
Spotlight. Yeah. That's
those
it.
might be $1 more. I'm not remembering.
I think so. I think they are.
But but that's the exception.
But
in the Marvel,
if you have a bunch of those that are $1 more, it's just more expensive.
Yeah.
And part of the whole there's too much, reduce it down is people just don't have money for that, right? Like coming back into being off of COVID restrictions and not doing stuff to doing the other stuff now, right? Like the market's not there for all of this content. When we were stuck at home having to entertain ourselves more, yeah, that content was there, but it's not there now.
Yeah.
So, but variants.
Yeah. Look, I love variant covers. I don't need 7 covers for the 12th issue of Captain America. I don't need 5 covers every issue of Action Comics.
Like a limited series, like a 6-issue mini, doesn't need variant covers.
Yeah, do one for number 1, and that's it.
Yeah. But it doesn't need
one for number 1. One.
Yeah. Or if you're doing something like, remember Legion when Jim Lee did the connecting Jim Lee covers?
Yeah.
Like, if you're doing something like that, that's fine. Because that's like a theme, it's connecting, I get it. It's open to order, awesome. Right? But when you're like, the whole, then you get new incentives and, it's too much. Too much.
Yep. Well, like I said, we're already seeing a cutback, which is good. Which is exactly what should happen. The variant cover thing should cut way back. Hopefully, they can put that money they were putting towards paying, those artists and get them to do other comics instead. What a surprise! Mm-hmm. Why don't you have an ongoing Silk comic instead of 20 miniseries? Why don't you have an Aquaman comic? What's going on?
Mm-hmm.
What is happening here? Where are these books? All right, that is it. That's a wonderful podcast. We are going to go ahead and wrap up. I should get my notes for the end of the episode because I can just go into autopilot and read these instead of having to try to remember everything. Because if I try to remember, I'm going to forget something and I'll feel really stupid. So while I'm vamping here, I will find the text file and I'll read that. Brock, thank you once again for being on this wonderful episode of the Comic Conspiracy Podcast. I do appreciate it.
We're coming up on 13 years. You realize that, right?
I do. Very soon. And episode 600. What are we going to do? Nothing.
I don't know. What would we, if we were a publishing company, what would we do for 600?
Foil cover, variant covers, die cut, kill a character off. Who dies? Who dies next episode? We'll find out.
Bryce.
Is that why he hasn't been on? I'll text him and find out. I think he's alive. Thank you to all our high tier Patreon backers. Edward at geekyvillain.com. The Lowdown with Luke and Derek on Spotify and YouTube. Joe Duff, Kelsey May, Craig Anderson at the Executive Evolution Podcast. Jimmy Rivera at the Social Forum Podcast, and Talon Bray. Thank you all very much for your support, and everyone else that supports us at patreon.com/comic conspiracy. We've been doing that Patreon for a long time now, so I appreciate the regular support from all our backers. But if you are listening to this episode and you do not back us, you can, if you would like. I mean, you could buy comics from us. That's cool too. But you can also send us some money on Patreon. That gives Brock and Toby and Kevin and a little bit of spending money at the store. They get some credit, and helps pay for the hosting of the podcast and pays my Libsyn fee every month. And it's good. It's good.
It's nothing too crazy.
Nice. Yeah, we all get a little bit something out of it. So, check out patreon.com/comic conspiracy if you'd like to kick us a couple of bucks. You can go to comicconspiracypodcast.com and Apple Podcast to find all our previous episodes. If you want
all the 598 other ones.
Marathon now. You get 2 weeks probably. Because I don't. Is Monday a holiday next week? Is it something?
It's just Veterans Day on Friday. It doesn't.
Friday.
It doesn't mess us up.
Do you got Friday off? You working Friday?
I'm working Friday, but I might. I was like, oh yeah, Marvels comes out. I should probably take my daughter.
That's Friday. That's this week.
Yeah. So I'm like, I was going to have my daughter spend the night at grandma's, and I'm like, oh, maybe she should just go to grandma's after we watch Marvels, and then I'll watch it in the morning and then go to, into work later.
I will probably try to go on my day off next week. Maybe.
On Sunday?
If it's Thursday's off. If it's less than a 35% on Rotten Tomatoes, I won't go. 35, 40? Do you want 40? What's my cutoff? When do I not see the market?
Hasn't Rotten Tomatoes already posted it?
I don't think so. Have they?
I don't know.
No, I don't think they have. It's probably tomorrow or Wednesday. Leanne says I'm probably going to watch it anyway, and that's true. But if it's a 35% or low, I hate Rotten Tomatoes. But for this one, I'll give it to him. If it's 35% or lower, I'll skip it and I'll watch it on Disney Plus. But if it's higher than 35%,
hold on.
There's no. I would have seen it.
It's not there yet.
I would have seen it. The reviews.
You know why they're not putting it up yet, right?
Because it's horrible. The reviews are horrible.
Because it's gonna get bombed by all the people that hate.
Well, that's just the stupid. That's the stupid reader reviews. Fuck those. That's just the stupid reader reviews. Fuck those. I don't care about those. I also don't really care about critic reviews either. But I just want to see what that number is. I'll be fascinated by what that number is.
Yeah, I'll probably go Friday. So
hey, I hope it's really good. I hope it's awesome. I don't want to come off like this type of person. I don't want it to be bad. I want it to be great. It just looks very bad.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Hopefully, I didn't have to watch Secret Invasion to understand it.
I'm not getting to that anytime soon. So next episode, we will definitely discuss the Marvels, one way or another. So we'll talk about it. So. Check out comicsconspiracy.biz where you can purchase all of our comic books on sale.
People, there are a ton of things on there.
Through our big back issue, our first pass at our back issues. My guy Kevin is in the tease. We have from mid-2000s till now. Again, not all, nowhere close to all, but a very good selection of Marvel and DC back issues. He was working on
Trinity.
Mid-2000s till now on comicsconspiracy.biz, and then we start the real stuff. We start the real back issues, and it's gonna. I need a
label maker.
It's gonna be big.
We need a label maker.
We're gonna do this, and it's gonna be epic. Okay. That's for my Boston fans out there. Conspiratorbrot.com.
That's wicked smart.
Yeah. It's my Red Sox boys. They know what I'm saying. Yeah. Conspiratorbrot.com.
Yep.
Check out Brock's stuff over there. Wanders in the Fourth Dimension podcast, Charlie's Doctor Who podcast, the weekly interview series Between the Panels at fanbasepress.com. That's Kevin's interview series talking all sorts of cool creators. And my wife Leanne is at leannehill.com. You can get her art on etsy.com/shop/leannehill art or at the store. And
get your commissions in for Christmas ASAP.
Yeah. Don't even bother doing commissions past the end of November because you won't get them.
That's why I'm saying do it now.
Yeah. If you are on Blue Sky, you can follow me, Ryan Higgins. Brock is Brock Sager. Toby is Toby XI. Kevin is that Kevin Sharp. All those are also on Twitter if you still use that. I am Ryan Higgins Ryan. The store is Comics Con Store, and I do post from the store account occasionally. That's about it. And our good friends over at Geekbox. Wait, no. I'm my good friend at Geekbox. Our good friends at Manga Machination.
Manga Machination.
I am on the Geekbox podcast every week with Ryan Scott, and every other week with Ryan Scott, and usually sometimes Justin Haywald, and sometimes Adam Fitch, and sometimes random people. Not just who knows. And we talk about Halloween. We talk about Chucky. We talk about Halloween.
What are you talking about?
We talk about Halloween.
Why are we talking about Halloween? It's over.
No, the movie franchise.
Oh, I thought that died.
We talk about Nintendo and Halloween. This is a joke here. There's a joke here.
And PlayStation and PlayStation.
Look, I love Ryan Scott, but boy, he loves Halloween.
He does.
He loves Halloween.
Why?
It's his favorite franchise.
I mean, Brody dressed up as Mike Myers this year.
Ryan is like hardcore horror guy. Yeah.
I'm not a huge horror guy.
Neither am I. Leanne just watched Saw 2. Yeah, I got nothing. Okay, thank you all very much. Well, we'll. I mean, one way or another, whether it's next week or the week after, we'll be back. We'll definitely talk Captain Marvel to some degree, and the Marvels to some degree. And I'm sure we'll have plenty of other great, awesome comic news stories to talk about. See you then.